Hello there, mates. Scott here, Klingon Captain 8, Emergency Medical Hologram. Yeah, I got a Star Trek call song. Don't even need a vanity one, I'll just keep that one. So, what I want to talk about is MERS. MERS, as some people say. Multi-use radio service. See, I saw this guy from the future and he said, "Hey, did you know that in the future they're going to take the MERS frequencies and make them part of GMRS?" I said, "Really? When?" He said, "Oh, in about 20 years." Just think about what that would mean for GMRS. All these dual band radios that you're only supposed to talk on the UHF part. You'd then have GMRS-VHF too, that you could use on those 5 frequencies: 151.820, 151.880, 151.940, 154.600, 154.570. Just think of the range improvement it would be. UHF is great for if you're surrounded by buildings, but if you're not, VHF carries more distance. You could have GMRS VHF repeaters. You could use the low frequencies, 151 for input and the 154s for output, or vice versa, and still retain the UHF frequencies. Now, this is already going on. GMRS shares frequencies with FRS, which is a non-licensed program. And that can stay the same for MERS. MERS can stay the same free license-free program with its legal limitations intact, but it could also be for GMRS licensees who could use that to get a lot more range out of their radios. Now, if this happens, ham operators are going to be really sad because the part of their brain where the jealousy is will just pop, and they'll go, "How dare you? You didn't even take the test, and now you give me a." That's what they'll do. They will have, especially the extra class. Now, I'm a ham. I've been a ham since '96. But it doesn't make me sad. Because on ham, I can only talk to hams. But on GMRS, my family can use it. They're licensed. I can call home. When cell phones don't work, my radios still work. Now, how can we have GMRS? It's not complete. How can we have it without VHF too? Because now all these dual band handhelds and dual band mobiles will get a lot more use because you'd be able to use both. So FCC, if you can hear me, make that happen. You'll make all kinds of GMRS people happy, happy, happy. And the sad hams, they'll only be sad for a little while. They'll get over it because they have endless amounts of frequencies. They won't run out of frequencies. They have way higher frequencies and way lower frequencies and all in between. It's not like we're gonna take something away from them. We just want to use something that hardly anybody uses anyway. At least in my town. Those channels are in my scanner. And I rarely hear anything. And when I leave town, they're in my car scanner. And I rarely hear anything. Now, just like FRS is shared with GMRS, MER should be shared with GMRS too. Same rules, same limitations. You don't have to change anything. And radio manufacturers would sell more radios because now GMRS would be a dual band service, which it always should have been. Maybe you could take some of those business band VHF frequencies and throw them in there too if you wanted. I mean, for good measure. That way we'd have more than just 5. Think about it. Think about it. Wouldn't it be a great idea? I think it would be. I think it's a great idea, and it's no wonder we did it in the future. I mean, it's so popular. People are coming back to the present just to tell people like me about it. That's it. It's like destiny. It's like the bootstrap paradox, right? When you're a time traveler and you have all the Beatles records, and you go back in time to the 60s and nobody's ever heard of Beatles music. So you start playing yours and singing their songs, and you become the Beatles. And then you got to ask, well, who's really the Beatles? Is it me? Where'd those records come from? Let me check my time machine, make sure they're still in there. But you get the gist of this, right? That's all I wanted to throw out there. It's something we should push the FCC to do. We're not asking for a lot. We just want VHF too because of the range. Repeaters are just better on VHF. Simplex is just better on VHF when you're talking distance. Close up, UHF is king. It cuts through all kinds of stuff. But for those of us that travel, we'd like to go over 10 miles away and still talk home. And that's legitimately possible under my suggestion / recommendation. Now, you really should do this because, the guy from the future, he wouldn't lie, right? He wouldn't lie. He's got to be telling the truth. And it's great where he comes from because he has a GMRS implant on the side of his head and it has dual band. Dual band. GMRS needs dual band. Oh, there's my little thingy. I must have a communication. But anyway, that's my little scheme. That's my little suggestion for the FCC. You'd make us so much happier. I bet people would just stop complaining, at least for a little while. The sad hams would only cry for just a little while. Then they'd forget and they'd go back to what they were doing. And I like ham. I like ham radio. This isn't an anti-ham post. I love ham radio. But ham radio isn't for everybody. It's just for some of us fellers and females too that are okay with taking a test to get a license. Not everybody wants to do that. So this is Scott, Klingon Captain 8, Emergency Medical Hologram, saying, think about it. And tweet at the FCC and tell them they ought to do it. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I've been doing for a while, ever since that guy from the future showed up. So, take care, y'all. And please like and subscribe. If you don't mind, I'd really appreciate it. Oh, that's my TID radio.
I need like a couple cases. Wesley burns them out all the time. That's what I'm replacing them with.
That's just my TID radio I use as a scanner. So think about what I said, fellas. Let's make this shit happen. Yeah.